It needed a nerf, but now it's the worst weapon on tactical? Oh, okay. I think I missed my grenade launcher. Interesting. The bolt rifle grenade launcher is the worst weapon on tactical? That's a hot take. Okay, so I'm going to go into this post. It seems like it's a long one, so I'm definitely going to have to separate the title from the actual post here. However, I will give you my thoughts on the grenade launcher. I haven't used it since it was nerfed. And even when it was OP, I barely used it. I think the heavy bolt rifle is just a much more fun weapon overall, and since that weapon has been buffed quite a bit recently, I do see a fair amount of praise for the heavy bolt rifle, and the plasmas are really good. I mean, you know what? Now that I think about it, the plasmas are very similar to the grenade launcher, but the grenade launcher strictly feels like it is like half the damage from like one plasma shot. But yeah, I do admit, I do think the nerf for the grenade launcher now starts to feel a little heavy-handed, considering that we are going to see a difficulty buff soon. And then not to mention the tactical's prestige perks, they really are like they're super good, but they're kind of basic in a sense that you kind of just need to get like headshots, and you have like more health, you can have more cooldown when you pick up ammo. It's very simple. But overall, the grenade launcher was one of those things, a couple patches ago that was just incredibly OP. However, I do think there is definitely a point to be made about this weapon maybe being one of the worst weapons on tactical. I don't know if it's the worst weapon, but okay, let's see if this post can convince me otherwise. I think we can all agree that the grenade launcher was broken. It's a shame, though, that Saber said that they didn't want to over-nerf it, only to nerf it into the ground. Interesting. Did the devs say they didn't want to over-nerf it? I'm not 100% sure about that, but I mean, yeah, I do think the devs kind of dropped the ball on the grenade launcher nerf. I agree with this. Grenade launcher now only takes 3 to 4 grenades back from small ammo boxes and none from large ammo crates. Only gets 1 grenade refunded from tactical class perk, which means it now takes a minimum of 5 to 6 minutes to refill your grenades, and this is assuming you can execute a majorist enemy every 30 seconds. Yeah, that sounds a little bit rough. Damage per grenade has been nerfed. Now, this is where I don't like the grenade launcher, to be personally honest. It now takes 5 to 6 grenades to kill a single majorist enemy. Yeah, that sounds rough. It should definitely be within like 3 grenades without scans, something like that, to put an enemy into executionable status. I'm not saying to overkill them or anything like that, but yeah, like use three grenades for a pack of majorists. That sounds about right. I mean, maybe if they're scanned, I guess it depends. But yeah, okay, let's continue. Now at higher difficulties, the grenade launcher has virtually no ammo to be used outside the first encounter. Then you're relying on the bolt rifle part of the gun, which is easily the weakest bolt rifle on tactical. It becomes the worst option to choose outside of maybe the auto bolt rifle. Oh, okay. Obviously, the grenade launcher shouldn't be changed back, but I think we should acknowledge that this has been an overcorrection, and the grenade launcher bolt rifle should see some sort of buff. As it stands now, the only reliable way to use the grenade launcher is to save the grenades for a priority target, like a terminus enemy. Even doing this, you're still handicapping yourself for the whole run because the standard bolt rifle is so weak. This is especially apparent when directly compared to the really strong primary options like Plasma and Stalker. Yes, this is a fair assessment. I think ultimately when it comes to the grenade launcher, it really only needed I mean the damage was a little bit crazy because it really did take, like, if you scanned a Terminator, it really did take like 1 grenade to put them in executionable, something crazy like that. We talked about this before, and the one thing I said that I was like, okay, if they nerf the grenade launcher, they gotta make sure that bolt rifle part of the weapon is very good. Also, another interesting thing they point out here is the save the grenades for a priority target. I do think that's like the way you should play the grenade launcher, but I agree, it's really not even like doing that much damage where it's like, oh, now I should save the grenades for a terminus enemy. It's like now the terminus enemy is what, like there's still 75% health left and you're like out of grenades. I get it. I think they need to do one of these things, either buff the damage of the grenade launcher and the bolt rifle, or give the tactical the ability to refill the grenades back. And I actually like the latter. If you were to rebuff the grenade launcher, I like the latter a little bit better here, in the sense that I like the fact that you can have like a whole bunch of grenades and just like, pop them out. It feels satisfying to use the grenade launcher. Like, the grenade launcher is a fun weapon to use, but it's a shame that we can't use it that often. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's actually, yeah, that's kind of a fair buff to give the weapon. Overall, I would probably unnerf the way it interacts with tacticals, with the tactical perk there. Maybe since tactical is getting the perk where you get a free grenade, like, what is it, every 30 seconds or something? It would be nice if that perk also refilled the grenades of your grenade launcher. And that way, you can't really just, like, I guess spam executions to get your grenades back. Give something a cooldown, but still, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, what they say here, 5 to 6 minutes to refill your grenades. That's crazy. An operation's normally around like 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and I think 5 to 6 minutes is a little bit insane. I just think, dude, make the weapon fun, and then that's all there is to it. You know what I mean? You don't. I think the devs dropped the ball on this one. I don't think they were trying to kill the bolt rifle, but I do. Yeah, they 100% dropped the ball on this. This is a pretty terrible nerf if you consider what they are putting out here on paper, especially considering the bolt rifle part of the weapon isn't very good. That said, I have used the auto bolt rifle recently, and by like recently I mean like when patch 7 came out, because it's like not my favorite weapon to use, but I still found that it was useful. However, the fact that the ammo capacity for the mags on the normal bolt rifles and the auto bolt rifle, like basically both those weapons, feel like those mags just aren't enough. I don't know what they need to do with those weapons. Maybe even buff them, just buff the damage a little bit more on them, maybe for the headshot multipliers or something. But yeah, ultimately the heavy bolt rifle is just such a good weapon that I really don't see why I would go back to the bolt rifles, unless I wanted to use the grenade launcher. And in that case, the grenade launcher just isn't fun to use, so that's kind of unfortunate, you know what I mean? But yeah, the heavy bolt rifle feels very powerful because it has a huge mag, and it can you definitely don't feel like the weapon's gonna fail you in the sense where it's like, okay, I'm out of ammo, I need to reload, but this Majorus won't let me reload. With the heavy bolt rifle, it's like, if you just mag dump, you're at least going to be in a way better spot in the fight than if you mag dumped a bolt rifle or an auto bolt rifle. And then the reload speed for the bolt rifle and the auto bolt rifle isn't even that great. So yeah, those weapons, the weapons, I would say those weapons are kind of failing in the quality of life aspect. The bolt rifle specifically, the auto bolt rifle, the only real issue with it is the lower mag. But the damage was pretty okay. I could see them buffing the headshot multiplier of both weapons, though, ultimately. So yeah, okay, fine. If I was to theorize a buff for the bolt rifle, I would increase the headshot multiplier by like 0.5%, something like that, 0.5%. And then unnerf the amount of grenades you get back from executions. And I would also make sure that you get more grenades back from ammo crates as well, or whatever. But yeah, just give the grenade launcher a bunch of grenades, and ultimately the damage on it isn't going to feel that bad. But then again, you still need some sort of damage, to follow up when you're out of grenades, because you can't just have the weapon crush on grenades. I think that's why the overpowered version of the grenade launcher was so, it was just not fun, is because you kind of just do grenades. There has to be a good mix. And at the moment right now, it feels like the bolt rifle doesn't have anything that's really worth using. Yeah, I agree with this post. This is a good time. I also seen some comments mention this as well, and I'm definitely going to, if I find time, I will definitely go back to the bolt rifles. But at the moment, I'm trying to get the assault class to level, or I'm trying to get my assault class to prestige 4 or whatever. I have a handful of prestige 4s already for siege mode, so I'm not that worried about getting Vanguard prestige 4, or even assault for that matter. But I want to make sure they're in a good spot for it. I want to make sure I have a lot of perks and stuff, so I still have to level them up. And I think I'm leveling up the Power Fist and Bolt Carbine as well. So yeah, I think I might find some time for it, but you know what? If siege mode comes out and I go to tactical, maybe I'll decide to use the grenade launcher and see how that works, but I can't imagine that would be any fun. I can't imagine the grenade launcher has the efficiency to, stay in siege mode. But okay, yeah, let's go into some reactions about this, but good post. The bolt rifle is an odd duck period with 3 variants that don't have the grenade launcher and 1 that does. Without the grenade launcher, it's just a worse heavy bolt rifle or worse stalker bolt rifle, depending on how you want to view it. Yeah, pretty much. It is the perfect weapon to just embrace as the combi weapon. Oh yeah, I seen a post talking about combi weapons. I was going to talk about that, but I think it's an interesting way to do primaries, but ultimately it kind of feels like, you know, you're using primaries you've used before, but pretty interesting. Keep the grenade launcher variant. Add a plasma, melta, and volkite variant. Melta and plasma get 10 shots at relic. Volkite holds 2 pistol mags worth of ammo. Interesting. I'll save my thoughts for that, but yeah, that's a lot. Also, sure, if they were able to pull that off, that'd be interesting. Ammo refill perk refunds 3 grenades, 5 plasma shots, 5 melta shots, and half the volkite ammo. Interesting. Ammo box refill half the underbarrel. Ammo crate will refill it too, but it costs a significant portion of the limit in lethal and absolute, like to the effect that you'll empty your ammo crate in 3 refills of the underbarrel. Boom, the bolt rifle's fun again. Not OP, and tactical gets some more flexibility and loadout. Honestly, yeah, that's a great idea, but I just don't know if the devs are going to put that much effort into a weapon we kind of already have into the game. If they were to do combi weapons, I would like to see them, you know, add in a new weapon for that. But yeah, ultimately, that's definitely a creative way to fix the bolt rifle, but I'm just not sure if I will see something like that in the game. You don't miss the grenade launcher, you miss being carried by the grenade launcher. The high rate of fire plasma is waiting for you with open arms. The plasma is very good. You don't miss the grenade launcher, you miss being carried by it. That's a wild take. No, dude, I think the grenade launcher actually had a unique sort of like mechanic to it where I like the whole switching the fire, like switching the fire type going from, you know, bolt rifle from to the grenade launcher. Like that whole mechanic definitely feels good, and I can understand why people kind of contribute that to like a combi weapon. That does kind of make sense. However, like ultimately the grenade launcher part of the weapon, like explosions are fun. I don't know what to tell you about that. Like the grenade launcher part of the bolt rifle is 100% like a fun and satisfying thing to just kind of pop out every now and then. And I think it's kind of cool to go between grenade launcher to like trying to, you know, fish for headshots, and not to mention acuity. Acuity is a really good tactical perk. So I think ultimately just using the bolt rifle should put you in a position to, you know, get some good damage. And I think, as others already pointed out, the other variants of the bolt rifles just don't feel unique enough. So I understand why people would want to do something like add the melta onto a bolt rifle to make it feel more unique. And I think since they already have the grenade launcher in the game, I kind of understand why people are getting at that. But still, I would just like to see a bolt rifle just do a little bit more damage, a variant that it's really hard to just suggest giving accuracy to the bolt rifle, because I think overall even the reload speed and the ammo capacity just feels off. And unfortunately, we already have a bolt rifle that has really high, you know, ammo capacity, so it's kind of weird to just be like, okay, just make the bolt rifle into a heavy bolt rifle. Like that's not really a satisfying buff. I guess ultimately if they do add combi weapons, yeah, that does kind of save the weapon. It does kind of, but still, like the grenade launcher could still just be not worth using, you know what I mean? There's no reason why the grenade launcher should do like not even like a quarter of the damage from a melta or plasma, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense for the grenade launcher to be any worse than weapons we already have in the game that are easier to approach than switching your, you know, shooting type, or yeah, what part of the weapon you're using or whatever. But yeah, ultimately, I'm not too sure if this is even going to be a priority. I do think it was good to talk about because it is something that hasn't been talked about for a while. And I don't think there's a handful of people. I really don't think that there's a handful of people who are going to say, I miss being carried by the grenade launcher. I just don't think that was really an element of the weapon that people are kind of looking back on fondly. I think we just want to use the grenade launcher. We just want to use a weapon for tactical just to make sure tactical has more builds, you know? So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the auto bolt rifle is in a better spot than the bolt rifle. But like ultimately, you don't really have that many options for buffs outside of headshot multiplier. And I think headshot multiplier is probably the cleanest and also makes the most sense, because then you're also, you know, you're giving them benefits to playing well. if you get crit shots, you get more damage. It just makes sense. And also, it would just, make sure the weapon can kind of perform well in Absolute 2.0 and everything like that. But yeah, ultimately, the reload speed is bad. The ammo capacity to the mags are bad. Like, there's a lot that can be kind of weird about the weapon. Tactical's going to lose Communion of Fire, so even getting headshots might be even harder. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this one. This is definitely one of those that we had to talk about 100%. It's been a while that anyone ever really pointed out that the bolt rifle was bad. I seen some of you guys in the comments talk about this, so I felt like this was a good time for it. Luckily, this post literally happened like an hour ago, and there's already like 20 comments or something. I don't know. It's pretty wild. But yeah, regardless, please buff the grenade launcher variant of the bolt rifle and give the bolt rifle itself a higher multiplier, maybe like a 0.5% or something like that. Yeah, when I say like a 0.5%, I think I'm at like 0.5. Regardless, it should be like 50% more critical headshot damage. I don't know. I think I messed that up. You guys will correct me in the comments, which I appreciate. And again, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. And thanks for watching.